Well, the shakeup is underway. What did you expect? Here we go. Good morning, by the way. Let's start with the basics. Good morning, J Dog. We're looking at a pretty nice Wednesday so far. A little cooler, some wind and windy conditions yesterday, or just breezy. How about that? Windy. Today, not so much. Chilly overnight, brisk, but beautiful as we get going. Welcome to Wednesday. President elect Trump on his way, or former president, but now President elect Trump on his way to Washington, D.C. today to meet with President Biden at the White House. That will be interesting. But I actually come back to that. I think they're going to have a pretty, believe it or not, a pretty amicable meeting. Then Trump will be meeting with leaders on Capitol Hill. A lot of news leaking out or coming out or being made on who he's tapping for what post. And then, of course, he'll be talking about some of the Capitol Hill shakeup or changes. And we're going to get some live reports in a moment. And the House control or majority, United States House of Representatives, looks like that's going to be pretty clear shortly, Republican as well as the Senate. And we're also today have a lot of focus because we're about 48 hours away from bringing back the trades. Hey, Google, hey, Alexa, play the Pulse of an H. You can now watch on YouTube just the Pulse of an H, our own channel. You can watch a show live as we kick off each morning, Monday through Friday, right here, weekdays. We're up into Maine now, WTSN, the signal expanding, AM and FM up into Maine, York County, and beyond. And we appreciate that. Lakes region, we're expanding. We have our new signal, 98.3 FM, HD2. If you like that digital clarity and all that, on top of our AM and FM stations at WEMJ, AM and FM Laconia, and of course, WTPL 107.7 FM, but worldwide and New England wide. Good morning, New Hampshire, the Pulse of NH, now on YouTube as well. If you want to watch YouTube, the Pulse of NH. J Dog on the boards. Not a bad looking Wednesday, dog. Yesterday, by the way, Doc and I, Doc from our Frank FM side of things, took a nice picture, our Christmas tree down in the lobby of our main building here. We're upstairs in our brand new digs, our 6-hour studio in the Capitol, not far from where we'll be broadcasting Friday in Concord, New Hampshire Community Technical Institute. Bringing back the trades. Mike Rowe will be on hand and in the house. 5,000 people about there, sold out, 80 companies working in the trades. We're bringing back the trades. J-Dog, but Doc took a nice picture because it is a Christmas tree of you and me by the tree there. Best buddies, and I think walking together, talking that you were smiling. You're wearing a nice like winter vest. You look at LL Bean look going on in front of the Christmas tree, all beaming with your best buddy, yours truly. Yeah, we're gonna market that Christmas tree photo. Shirts, sweatshirts, hats, the dog and Jack. All right. All right, we're going to hear from some of our regular contributors momentarily, including the House battles. Who's going to control the House as we get going this morning? Some commentary, and I do think it's good, by the way, that President-elect, former President Trump, and Joe Biden are getting together at the White House today to talk about the transition. And I'm just going to point this out. I cannot resist. I actually think it's going to be a pretty positive, respectful meeting, believe it or not. I really do. I think Joe Biden is. How do I say this diplomatically? I don't think Joe Biden's going anywhere till the end of his term. These rumors of he'll bow out and let Harris be kind of the participation trophy president for a month. I don't see it happening. I don't think he appreciates how he was forced out. The way I'm reading the tea leaves going on in the Democrat Party, I don't think he appreciates who forced him out, what they held over his head to make him bow out. And if you're one of these true believers on the Democrat side that you think Joe Biden just woke up one day with Jill Biden saying we should really give this up and let someone and let Harris have it. If you believe that, I do have some beautiful oceanfront property for you in Phoenix. That's not what happened. And history will show that is accurate. Biden was forced out. And I just love the infighting. In this story that's burning out of Massachusetts, politically speaking, what a story. Seth Moulton from my old stomping grounds, the North Shore of Boston, Salem, Marblehead, that area. He's a congressman. He's a Democrat. He's also a Marine. He just got reelected. He's a Democrat, and he's telling the truth. He's saying the truth, and look at the backlash in Massachusetts. If you wanna know about the liberal elitism or liberal thinking, unbelievable. Can't have an opinion. Can't have an opinion. Representative Seth Moulton out of Mass said, he's got 2 daughters, little girls playing sports, and he said it, the Salem School Board and Tufts University and Governor Healy are just outraged at Seth Moulton. He said, "I don't want them being run over," I'm paraphrasing, "on an athletic field by a boy, I don't want that to happen. I don't think boys should be playing in girls' sports." Oh my goodness. He said, "We're told as Democrats we can't say that. I just did." He's standing by it. Oh my goodness. He doesn't have a right to an opinion. Then he went on to say the problem with our party is I spoke up about inflation for 4 years, and I was told it was only transitory. Transitory. Remember when yours truly was having fun with that term from Janet Yellen and others in Washington? It's transitory. Then he said I was worried about the border and all these illegal migrants and immigrants coming into Mass, and I was told it's only a Republican issue. It's not an issue, Seth. Don't talk about the border. And then I said, he goes, I said for 4 years Biden was too old to run again. Too old. Everyone yelled at him saying Biden was great, be a great nominee and a great president. Everyone upset with him. Now he's speaking his opinion on transgender, athletic controversies. What we've seen in New Hampshire, and they're going, oh my goodness, they're all over him. He goes, see, that's what's wrong with the Democrat Party. I think he's hit about 4 nails in the head. Some commentary there. I have to take a moment on what's going on in Washington D.C. I got to tell you, speaking of it's like when the I'm sorry. I just have to go there. I'm gonna go there, so I'm gonna say, like in New York City or a major city, like when the pest control people come in. Have you ever seen and I'm being somewhat facetious but serious in my point. In New York City, like when they have rat or rodent infestation, have you ever seen the size of some of these animals, how big they're getting? And so when they start trying to get rid of them, the the rodents are just running from the restaurants and the sewers like underground, floating as they get rid of them. And I'm watching Washington D.C. right now with all these bloated bureaucrats just freaking out that Donald Trump is tapping the wealthiest, smartest dude on earth, Elon Musk, to cut federal bureaucracy. And he's paired with Vivek Ramaswamy, who, when he ran for president, was on my show a lot. Ramaswamy did fairly well in New Hampshire, if you remember the primary, because we had a primary in New Hampshire, presidential primary. Only one party participated. The Democrats took it away, and New Hampshire has the highest per capita voting percentage in the country because the Democrats, another problem they have to realize is people like to vote for their leaders. They don't like their leaders to be anointed. It's called voting. But anyway, Musk and Ramaswamy are pairing together in a new agency. And listen to all the, I call it, well, we can say rodents, in the example of New York's, major cities when they have an infestation. Look at all the entrenched bureaucrats and Washington, D.C. bureaucrats saying, oh my goodness, he can't create an agency to cut waste in Washington. These people have no experience here. They don't get it, do they? They just don't get it, do they? They don't get it. You're telling me that Elon Musk can't figure something out in a New York second? You're telling me Musk and Ramaswamy need to know their way around Washington and be professional politicians before they start cutting waste? You watch this. This is so overdue and so needed. It's like the old days with penicillin fighting a bacterial infection. This is so needed in Washington. Cut the waste. Oh my goodness. You could probably cut 40 or 50% out of Washington, and your life and my life and the people it serves are going to be even better off. What does that tell you? You just heard in our local news from Mike Pomp. Governor Sununu is ordering a 4% budget cut in lean and mean New Hampshire. Not mean. We're run very well. That's why people want to live here. No income, no sales tax, live within your means, balanced budgets. And Sununu's even ordering a 4% budget because we're not having as much federal spending coming in. Oh my goodness. New Hampshire will cut spending, tighten the belt like your household. We've had to do this for 4 years or longer as households and budgets and small businesses in New Hampshire with inflation. Money in, money out. We've had to cut. Many families, most of us, have to decide, do I pay this bill or do I pay that bill? I'll put this bill in the third drawer and this bill in the second drawer because I want to put this one off because my electricity rate, my electric bill's $482, and I owe a healthcare deductible, and I have to buy groceries, and my rent check's going up and my mortgage is high. So I'm just going to juggle bills and try and keep my head above water. That's how people live. That's how businesses live. But oh, no, 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 not in Washington. Oh my goodness. And don't you love it every few months? Oh, we're going to have a looming government shutdown and we have to honor our obligations. So don't talk about any federal spending cuts right now. We're just going to raise the debt ceiling and print more money. This, watching Elon Musk and Ramaswamy team up to cut federal waste, is like music to my ears. We have almost a $35 trillion debt, and no one was talking about it. And they want to give Washington, D.C. a haircut, start cutting and keep going until things start to look like they might float versus sink. And that's how you save a lot of the necessary programs. By the way, you'll help every federal bureau, you know how stupid it is in Washington? Do you know how dumb they operate their federal budgeting? If you're head of the VA, you have to spend 100% of your budget. You get no gold star, silver star, participation trophy, or thank you if you save or cut some spending in your budget and you introduce competition and more private partnerships. You don't get rewarded. You get admonished. You get yelled at. You're supposed to spend 100% of your money that you're allocated. Don't try and be a hero. Don't try and cut spending and be more efficient like they do in the private sector. We're the public sector. We spend all the money. This is hilarious to watch. And you look at some of the people Trump has picked, all business, all serious, and Washington is quaking. Washington is quaking. This is exactly what the machine did not want. They didn't want Donald Trump to win. He says offensive things at his rally. He's unhinged. Oh my goodness. First person he puts in is a female woman to be his chief of staff. He's going to go through and he's going to clean house in Washington like they haven't seen. And he's going to probably end a war or two in the world, hopefully, and cut inflation and secure the border. And if you don't like it, you might want to start looking for a job in the private sector right now. The final thing I'll say about Washington and Virginia, when we've had economic downturns in the rest of the country, they hardly feel it there. They hardly feel it there. So Nancy Pelosi, and including McConnell on the Republican side, and a lot of these 20, 30-year powerful politicians, because the success in Washington is how long you've been in office and what committee you hold power on. It's all about money and power, like yours truly has been saying for years. Money and power, power Washington, not the Potomac. Money and power. This person's been here 18 years and they're in the Ways and Means Committee, and they're a big deal. Yeah, it's exactly what Washington needs to see less of. And I just think this is hilarious. Hilarious. Washington is quaking before Musk and Ramaswamy and Trump and the administration get in there and start doing more with less and doing it better. What a novel concept. Some commentary. 603-228-2080. Are Republicans close to taking over the House as well, including the Senate? Brad Card, one of our political analysts and all-stars, on deck next. A little bit later on, we get an update from the Manchester VA, and we are bringing back the trades today big time. We're going to hear from some of the folks who will be here day after tomorrow, J-Dog. I'm already getting ready. New Hampshire Technical Institute, Concord. Mike Rowe will address the auditorium. Thousands will be there about 10 o'clock that he joins yours truly. We're one of the big sponsors there. About 5,000 of you have already bought tickets. Bringing back the trades. Hey, Google, hey, Alexa, play the Pulse of an Age. Back in a moment. I'm just looking at there was a piece on all the Hollywood celebrities who came out for Harris in the last few weeks, what they have every right to do, by the way. But it's just sort of like how quiet they are right now. I said on one of my posts, I think they're ordering takeout, or maybe George Clooney's picking out a new home in the countryside of France. All right, Brad Card, one of our political analysts and all-stars, we given him a chance to rest. I didn't get much of a chance. Brad, good morning. I guess the question now is control of the House, but before I begin, this news story, it's even local. Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy to lead new Department of Government Efficiency to cut waste in the Trump administration. That must be going over like a lead balloon in Washington this morning. Yeah. Hmm. He was. No, I disagree. He was fairly popular in New Hampshire. He was. He was. Well, I'm saying in a crowded field, he stood out and people knew his name, and he ran for president, and he was fairly popular in New Hampshire. Had a pretty good following, I remember, but I don't. Yeah, but he had a message when he was on. He was a young, inspirational candidate, and he was talking about exactly. He was talking about reshuffling a lot of the bureaucracy. If he, that he had a message, and I think it's good. What else would you call this? Yeah, but in this day and age, winning the House, the Senate, and the popular vote in the Electoral College is probably not going to happen for maybe another 50 years. Well, let's let's talk about let's talk about the Senate and the House. Where is that going to end up? And is Senator Scott from Florida likely to be the Senate Majority Leader? But does the House go Republican? Where are we at in the House and the Senate, Brad Card? Is he what you and I would call a staunch Trump supporter? he won't become the Senate Majority Leader. But you think you predict do you think he's gonna be the Majority Leader? Okay, well, then he might. Yeah. What will Senator Scott from Florida, would he support him? Would he support Thune, Scott? Yeah. Who else do you think it could be? Yeah. What right. What about the House? What about the House? Where does that end up, Brad? I know. Yeah. I got a couple quick questions for you because I wanna ask you about Massachusetts. We might go a little bit longer here, J-Dog, because we're good for bottom of the hour. What's Tim Scott's status in South Carolina? When is he up again? Because he was pretty, I think Trump liked him and also Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia. I'm just curious, in the House with Johnson, how does he kinda juggle that? For what? No, for what? I'm asking her role in the House. What how will Johnson handle that? Yeah. Re okay, real quick. Just a lightning round with you because you're in DC. Today, President Trump returning to DC to meet with President Biden and GOP leaders. How do you think? I think it's going to be rather amicable and friendly with Biden, believe it or not. Am I right or wrong? Okay. Next, next question. Seth Moulton in Mass. I think you know him. Just got reelected North Shore, where I'm from originally, Marine. Yeah, but isn't it great to watch? But don't you think it's gonna backfire even against Massachusetts, like Haley, all these people, all he said is the truth, what he believes as a father, and he has no right to say that, but then he went on to talk about inflation, Biden was too old, the border, and they keep shooting him down. Doesn't that just make him more legit with more voters or not? Yeah, yeah. All right. Jada All right, J Dog's telling me we got to run because we got the VA standing by. Brad Card live. A lot of stuff, a lot of ground covered. Make it a good one. Thank you. When will that happen, by the way? Oh, thank you. Well, we'll catch you tomorrow morning. Thank you. If you hear anything by noon, check back with us in the 11, please. All right. We're going to take a break. When we come back, coming up, the Manchester VA and a whole lot more. Stay right here. You know what I'm observing here, and it's been what a week ago this morning we were reacting to the biggest political comeback in a modern American political history, and no disrespect to my friend Michael Griffin in Portsmouth, much more than Richard Nixon. If you look at what Trump has persevered, personally, professionally, legally, and a couple assassination attempts. Uh, I um, I find it amazing, remarkable, but not shocked. But I do find it also a tad comical. It's been a week, and I'm watching people react to what Trump is doing, what he said he's doing, and they still can't. They're scratching their heads. And they still can't understand what happened. And every time, this is what I hear with people. And by the way, not all elections go your way in life. We know that. Sometimes you lose more than you win, you move on. But here's the deal. I'm watching every time Trump does something. This is what the CNNs of the world, if you will, because their numbers are tanking. Look up Nielsen ratings for cable network news outlets. Most of them numbers started tanking before last Tuesday. Where are all the wicked smart celebrities? You know, the ones with the 14,000 square foot homes and their private jets that campaign for Harris? Where are they all? They've gotten really quiet. Now, I don't know if they're landing in Ottawa, Canada to move up there or France, but where are they? All those really smart, rich Democrats who tell us all about climate change and our carbon footprint, but they don't live that life, or tell us about the Second Amendment and how we can't have this for hunting or self-protection, but they can have their own private bodyguards. Where are all those hypocrites? I haven't heard much of them in a week. Are they ordering takeout from Domino's? Because they're laying pretty low. But here's what I'm going to point out. Instead of understanding what happened last Tuesday night and understanding that that vote was far more than the Trump base, I'm hearing every time Trump does something. This is the funniest one lately in the last 24 hours, and you just heard it a little bit from one of our own contributors, Brad Card. Now Elon Musk is not so smart. He's not like one of the most successful people in the world anymore because he's helping Trump. Have you noticed that? It started, a while ago when he bought Twitter or whatever and came out with X and started supporting Trump. His star started to fall once he didn't, suck up to the liberal side of the aisle, even though he's the guy who made electric vehicles cool. So they stopped liking Elon Musk a while ago. But now that Trump is really tapping him to shake up the federal government, he's an idiot. He's not smart. He steals other people's ideas. This is what I'm all hearing now from the far left. He's not a smart person. He's not the world's most successful person, so he's an idiot. But if he was a liberal, he'd be brilliant. And then, I saw this. I remember as a kid. I remember what they said about Ronald Reagan. He was an idiot. He was a dumb actor from Hollywood. He was a fool. He wouldn't go anywhere. Great movie with Dennis Quaid called Reagan right now. And then I remember George W. Bush came along. Oh, he was an idiot. Oh, the far left, they hated Bush. He talked funny. He walked funny. He wasn't his dad. He was an idiot. So I'm watching now after last Tuesday night. It's been 1 week. And I'm watching everything that Trump does. They're shooting holes in it. Oh, I can't believe he's tapping people that have no experience in Washington. Do you hear yourself? Do you hear yourself? Keep talking. Keep talking, CNN. They can't believe that he's tapped so-and-so for this. They don't have much political experience. Are you just a total idiot or partial idiot? I mean, do you really not understand that what people want is not professional politicians in Washington, or do you not understand that? It's just amazing. When the shoe fits, it's great. When it doesn't, or it doesn't fit the narrative, it's awful. It's terrible. Look at this Massachusetts story. You got a Democrat from Massachusetts who just got reelected, Seth Moulton. By the way, he's a veteran, Marine. Thank you for your service. He's a Democrat in Massachusetts. They are going berserk down there, politically speaking. Healy's office, the governor, they can't believe that he has the audacity to question boys competing in girls' sports because he has two young girls. He has no right to an opinion as a father because he's a Democrat. He says, I'm not supposed to question this. He goes, I'm going to question it. I'm going to say it's wrong, and I'm not going to back down. They don't know what to do with him right now. I'm being serious. Tufts University, colleges down there are saying, we're going to shut off Congressman Moulton's office from interns from our campus. Good. I don't think he gives a you-know-what. Good. Healy vows she's going to fight Moulton and his outrageous statements about transgender sports. Good. Good. Doesn't matter that 99% of the people might agree with Moulton quietly, but you go ahead and do that. Go ahead. Yep, keep going. Doesn't matter that he questioned the stupidity that inflation wasn't transitory because it didn't fit the narrative for Biden and Harris. Didn't matter that he questioned earlier than, by the way, where's Dean Phillips of Minnesota? He ran for president because Biden was too old and unelectable. Boy, they threw him out pretty quick. He was a threat. They're going to try and throw Moulton out because he questioned Biden was too old. They told him to shut up. Inflation wasn't transitory. He was speaking up about it. They said it is transitory. It's going to go away soon, so be quiet. And then he questioned the border and illegal immigrants coming in, and they told him it was only a Republican manufactured issue It's not an issue. Sanctuary cities, not an issue. So I'm looking at all this after last Tuesday, and the people who were not successful, they don't get it. They're scratching their heads. They have zero humility. They cannot within them say, we were wrong. All these people are right. They're not garbage, these voters. They're not deplorables. They're the customers. They were correct. I was wrong. They can't even say that. And then you're looking at these people, the celebrities, the Pelosi's, the Schumers, all these people Harris surrounded herself by. None of them regular people, regular working people. The celebrities, the billionaires, the private jets, the yachts, the big houses, the party of the elite. That's what she surrounded herself with, not working class people. And they don't get it. They don't understand what happened. And then they criticize the customers for voting the way they did. You know how I said this the other day to a business friend of mine, or a friend who's will know more about business than I could ever forget or learn. I said, "You're the business guru, buddy, but how does a business go out of business? What happens?" He goes, "Well, how do you think?" I said, "Well, I think they're not good at running the business, or they forget who their customers are, or competition drives them out of business." And I said, "I think what happened last Tuesday night is all three." And he goes, "You're exactly right. The people that can't, the Nancy Pelosi's, the the you know the mindset of like the View host. The customers are stupid. The customers are idiots. The customers are garbage. They're wrong. We're right. What the hell makes you think you're right? What makes you think you're right? I'm not saying I'm right or always right. I always stand to be corrected. I mean that. I just point out commonsensical things like Elon Musk is not an idiot because he's helping Trump. If he was a liberal criticizing Trump, Elon Musk would be the smartest person in the world, the richest, most successful. It's just like George Clooney. I remember distinctly the View host, the show, the morning on that after Biden, before Biden bowed out, the letter of Monday or Tuesday that quote unquote Obama sanctioned. George Clooney, the big fundraiser for Biden, Mr. Hollywood George Clooney with his tequila label and his Italian, I don't know if he sold his home, big fundraiser, writes the letter that goes public. Joe, I love you, but you gotta go. Joe, I love you, but you got to go. That only happened after the debate in Atlanta when they said, "Oh, we're all going to lose." And they didn't care that Biden, could be president. They all knew they'd lose. So, Joe, I love you, but you got to go. The View hosts that next morning were bashing George Clooney. I watched it myself. I'm not reading. I watched it that morning. They are saying, "I can't believe George Clooney. He's such a bad actor. I don't like his movies. I can't believe he's doing this to our party. I can't believe he's disrespectful to Joe Biden," because they all thought Biden was going to be the nominee. And George Clooney, what a bad person. What a traitor. And then a week or so later, after the fix was in and Biden's forced out and Harris is the nominee and Clooney comes out with the Obamas and endorses Harris, the same View I don't know why I'm talking about the View because they're irrelevant. No, I don't know who watches it. I don't know what their numbers are. Probably worse than CNN. Maybe not. But right after that, the View hosts are praising George Clooney after he endorses Harris. Oh, what a wonderful man. He's such a great actor. He's a wonderful Hollywood icon. What a great Democrat. Don't you see how dumb political hypocrisy can be? If Elon Musk was a liberal this morning, billionaire, critical of Trump, he'd be brilliant. But because he's going to go in and cut waste in Washington and be with Trump, oh my God, he's not that successful. He's not that smart. He's an idiot. I got to do this. Keep singing that song. And Oliver Anthony, Rich Men North of Richmond, will write another hit that the Koch brothers did not fund. And you can listen to it and maybe learn from it. Hey, Google, hey, Alexa, play The Pulse of an H. Manchester VA on deck next. Mhm. By the way, as we bring in the Manchester VA, a lot of you've asked me, and I would just say that a lot of the political folks that have had their palms greased by the windmill lobbyist, you might want to realize that the floating proposed windmills for the Gulf of Maine off New Hampshire ain't happening. Not going to happen. I think you sold the leases. Not going to happen. So a lot of the fishermen, New Hampshire fishermen, New England fishermen, you can rest a little bit. Ain't happening. That's what I'm being told by the new sheriffs in town. So there you go. Hey, you know what? Yesterday, Monday, Veterans Day, but this next guest and the folks at the Manchester VA, every day is Veterans Day for them. And today, actually, we're talking about screening. That's a very important resource, and there's a resource fair and a great American event, smoke out event coming up because lung cancer is something that that affects folks who've not even smoked in their life. And Kevin Forrest, the medical center director of Manchester VA, is joining me with one of the great medical professionals there. Kevin, good morning. Well, thank you for your service, and I hope you had a good day. But I know for you, because you understand this, it's not just Monday; it's year round. Tell us about the screenings, and I know you have a great colleague of yours. Take it away, Kevin. Hey, Christine, take it away. Thank you. Well, elaborate on how you, as a nurse and a healthcare professional, because the thing, Christine, that is perplexed me about lung cancer is the typical stereotype doesn't apply anymore. Correct? On who might be a candidate to get screening. Yeah, because I've been amazed at people that find out that they all of a sudden okay, well, talk about the screening and how do we reach more veterans to tell them to come do this? Tell us the who, what, when, where, Christine. Awesome. Awesome. This is this Friday, Christine? All day, pretty much. What's the entrance? Manchester, VA. People can Google that. I know how to get there, but if they haven't been there in a while or a caregiver, this Friday, what entrance? Oh, awesome. 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 Well, you've done a great job, Kevin, and I endorse that. Be there Friday. Kevin, we'll get you back again soon. I want to talk about that growth. Thank you. All right, back in a moment.